Hey guys, what's up? Back with another video. This time we are doing a review, and it is Bound for Glory 2021. This was supposed to happen a couple of months ago, but when I got to the third from the last match, which is the Good Brothers versus Bullet Club versus Fin Juice, my DVD decided to play up. So I had to re-get the DVD. And then I put it off for a couple of months, and now here it is. I've decided to watch it again. So that's why it's been taking me a little bit of a while to get back to this to complete the 2021 Impact thingy. Anyway, less say about that the better, right? Let's get on with this show. We got Bound for Glory 2021. This is right here. We got Josh Alexander and Christian Cage. Got Bound for Glory. Awesome stuff. Pretty cool. There's the card on the back. But I've got the card written down and my thoughts. So let's do this special, shall we? First match, we had the Knockout Tag Team titles on the line. We had Decay of Rosemary and Havoc taking on the debuting Inspiration. This match was fun. This was a fun opener. I only know the Inspiration from the WWE as the Iconics, so I didn't really think too. Going into it, I was like, oh, okay, this is a bit weird opener. Clash of Styles. The evil Decay, the Undead Realm people versus the models, like, hey, Iconic. The iconic people. But the match itself was fun. It was a fun opener, and the Iconics or the Inspiration actually brought it, and I was actually kind of a bit not too taken back, but a bit taken back by their in-ring style, because I've only known them from WWE, and their characters kind of overshadowed their wrestling. Just say this. So it was kind of nice to see them actually wrestle for a change. And yeah, it was pretty good opener, and yeah, fun start to Bound for Glory with new tag team champions. Then we had the next match on the card. We had the X Division Championship on the line. We had Steve Macklin. Take on Trey Miguel versus El Fantasmo. This is for the vacated X Division Championship after Josh Alexander used Option C to face Christian Cage at Bound for Glory. So yeah, this is for the vacated X Division title. This was pretty cool. Another fantastic match. Typical X Division triple threat. Balls to the wall stuff. I use that word kind of often now, balls to the wall. Yeah, it was balls to the wall fun, and I had a lot of fun watching this. So yeah, and in my opinion, the right winner, and it made me want to see variations of this match in one-on-one perspective, which is pretty cool for me because the next one, Hard to Kill 2022, is Steve Macklin versus Trey Miguel, so that should be pretty fun. But yeah, this match was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think we had the right winner here with Trey Miguel winning the X Division title. Next match, we had Violent by Design taking on Heath and a mystery partner, which Heath wanted to be Rhino. This was more of a story. This was more of the story of Heath, of Rhino coming full circle with Heath. From Bound for Glory to Bound for Glory. Because at Bound for Glory 2020, Rhino won the gauntlet for the gold. Is it called gauntlet? Yeah, no, the Call Your Shot gauntlet. Sorry, I'm getting it wrong. The Call Your Shot gauntlet. Rhino won the Call Your Shot gauntlet to earn Heath his job last year at 2020. 2020 Bound for Glory. So, and then Heath got injured in that same match. So, and then of course Violent by Design would take Heath out, and then Rhino would end up joining Violent by Design. So yeah, it was pretty. So yeah, so it was basically come full circle. Now they kicked Rhino out the group, and then of course Rhino had a decision of will he go back to Violent by Design or will he go with his friend Heath. And the match itself was not really that much. It was basically a 2-on-1 beat down on Heath for a long time, and then for a little bit, and then of course. The moment came. We were all waiting for Rhino to come out and exactly what happened. It was a feel-good moment, and Rhino and Heath get the win, and Heath and Rhino got back together as a tag team. So pretty fun stuff, and yeah, the story, the story outweighed the match itself, so overshadowed. So there you go, pretty cool stuff. Next match, we had the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. Yet again, another fun stuff. Fun stuff here. Some fun entrants like the Kiss Demon, the Demon, and Johnny Swinger. That was pretty funny. You had some women in there like Alicia Edwards and Jordan. No, not Jordan Grace. What's her fucking name? Rachel Allering. That's her fucking name. I couldn't think of her fucking name for a moment. Yeah, Chris Sabin and Rocky Romero started. That was pretty fun. Yeah. And he set up some new rivalries as well, which I was pretty interested in, which was Ace Austin versus Chris Sabin. And, yeah, and, a split between the alliance of Moose and, Morrissey. So that was pretty cool. And of course, the winner was indeed Moose. Moose won the match, defeating Matt Cardona in the final part. And, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I liked it. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, next match we have the triple threat tag team match. We have the Bullet Club of Chris Bay and Hikuleo taking on Finn Juice, taking on the Good Brothers for the tag team titles. This was okay. I was expecting a little bit more from them, but then it was alright, but I didn't like it as much as the other matches. I was like, okay, that was alright, Like, wait, that was it? I like the finish of the match where Carl Anderson tagged himself in. It was basically the Bobby Roode Chavo Guerrero spot from 2013 Lockdown where Finn Juice looked like they were going to have the match won with the frog splash, but Carl Anderson tapped Juice Robinson's foot, so he tagged himself in, and then he basically stole the win, basically. Yeah, I like that finish. It was pretty cool, and the match was okay. So yeah. Moving on to the next match, we have Mickie James taking on Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockout Championship. Pretty slow start to this match, but it got underway very. There's a lot of physicality in this match. I like the fact it actually looked like they were trying to beat each other up. In a wrestling match. I know that's a very hard concept. But yeah, it looked like they were actually wanting to fight each other. So, pretty cool stuff. The only thing that was a bit head scratching was I don't like this idea that apparently Mickie James is old. I know she's been in wrestling for a long time, like 20 years now. But I don't like this idea like, oh, Mickie James is wearing down and she's starting to get a bit old. I'm like, she's still Mickie James. She's still freaking great. And basically that was the story of the match. Does Mickie James still have what it takes to hang with the younger generation? And she hung in there and she won the match and she won the title. And Mickie James, as they say, Mickie James hit her best shot, and it was enough to win this match. So yeah, apart from the Mickie James being old part. This match was very enjoyable. I liked it a lot. Which brings us to the main event. Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage for the Impact World title. I have a strange feeling that this was a Christian Cage with a replacement for Kenny Omega, because it was supposed to be Kenny losing the title here to Josh Alexander. Spoiler alert. But Kenny was kind of injured, and he took some time. He took some time off. He lightened his schedule so he could just do the AEW stuff because his body was wearing down. Anyway, let's say about Kenny Omega. Christian Cage versus Josh Alexander. The match itself, it was good. I really liked it. Really good main event. Really hard hitting. And Christian, it was all built around. Will Josh Alexander make a mistake? Because Christian was like, he thrives under pressure, while some people crack under pressure. And basically, it was the main event feel, and this is Josh Alexander's first main event in Impact. And would he crack, or would he succeed. And he succeeded by putting Christian in the ankle lock, and Christian couldn't lift himself up because he injured his arm. He had like a shoulder thing on his shoulder. He had like a tape on his shoulder, so he couldn't hold himself up. And that was Christian's undoing. So Josh Alexander won, and it was a very good feel good moment where Josh Alexander had his wife and kids in the front row, and that was amazing. It was really emotional. And then Moose happened. Moose cashed in right in front of his wife and kid, who was in the ring, and Moose speared Josh Alexander to win the Impact World title, stealing the moment from Josh. And it was very emotional. It hit the right mark of like, oh, you son of a bitch, that son of a bitch Moose won that title. But I liked it. It got the right emotion for me anyway. I was a fan of it back when it actually happened back in October last year. I know there were some people that didn't like it because it felt like they were building Josh up for all the year, and then of course he gets these moments and gets it taken away from him. But I was confident that we would get back to Josh Alexander versus Moose for the Impact title. I'm not just saying that because I know what happens, in April 2022 with Rebellion. I didn't really feel that way, and I was a big fan of it. Because I knew if Impact built it right, that you could get back to Moose versus Josh Alexander and make it a bigger deal when Josh Alexander wins the world title, and that's exactly what happened. So I was a big fan of this. When it happened, I was like, oh no. I was kind of half happy because I like Moose, but I was also half sad because I felt bad for Josh because I was like, oh man, like he got his moment and he got it taken away from him. So, but I was like, man, this actually builds something to the future, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So I like this, pretty cool. Anyway, the pay-per-view itself, I'm gonna give an 8 out of 10. Really solid stuff. There was only a couple of small little things like, not even the match between Violent by Design and Heath and Rhino being more about the story than the actual match itself, and you were just waiting for Rhino to come out. But I don't really consider that a negative. And also the Mickie James being too old and then overcoming the odds. I'm not a big fan of this competitor you're watching right now, they're old. I'm not a big fan of that. Apart from that, I think everything else was very solid on the show, and it was a very solid show. Impact continued to knock it out the park. And, that's it for now, guys. And, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in a bit. I'm out.